Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by closersio, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Dax Hamman, the CEO and co-founder of Fomo.ai. Dax brings a fascinating mix of expertise in evolutionary and digital marketing and ad tech, and a passion for making AI practical and impactful for businesses. Based in Denver, Colorado, Fomo.ai, founded in 2023, is revolutionizing how businesses leverage AI to reduce marketing costs, adapt to AI-driven search disruptions, and gain competitive advantages. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers clients in the AI marketing space, and his vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Dax, welcome to Founders Future.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. A pleasure and an honor. And I'm a huge proponent of AI, so super happy to have this conversation with you. So if we can start at the top for our listeners here, Dax, what specific problem in the AI marketing landscape inspired you to start Fomo.ai?
I think the common thread throughout my career has been find the bright, shiny object and turning it into something practical and useful.
Hmm.
We were one of the first back in the day in agency world to make display ads a profit-driven center. We were the third ever platform to integrate with Facebook ads, the first ever platform to integrate with Twitter ads. And so when ChatGPT really hit the scene, to me, that was the ultimate bright, shiny object, right? It's almost like the last great tech race humanity is going to live through. And so we very much wanted to take advantage of that. With our backgrounds as agency and ad tech founders and executives, we really believe in the human and the technology combination. And so for a lot of brands, new, minted, pet beds, and lots more smaller brands, we provide that AI human hybrid solution. Interestingly, mostly at the moment focused on the AI search opportunity. So everybody's traffic's down in Google. How do we fix that because of AI overviews? How do you get into ChatGPT? How do you get into Perplexity, etc.?
Interesting. Very interesting. So I definitely would love to get right into that with you and have a good understanding for our listeners, especially who can really take advantage of this. How are you really generating revenue today? So as far as the core offer, I know that you do the done for you AI search and SEO, the automation tools. Do you provide coaching, consulting? What is the full offerings that you have here? And who is the ideal client that you work with these offers?
So the core of what we do is the playbook. And the playbook is where we have cracked how AI search works at any given moment. And interestingly, that playbook has already changed 2 dozen times over the last
Yeah,
12 months or so, because this is such a rapidly changing space.
absolutely.
As marketers and business owners, we've had it lucky for 15 years, right? You wanted to optimize for search, you optimized for Google. You wanted to get some paid traffic, you started with Google Ads. You wanted some social traffic, you went to Facebook. Everything is now broken. Google Ads is down, organic is down, etc. So playbook at the core, and then we can either do done for you, so we use our own technology on your behalf, and that's commonly what we do with enterprise and large brands, or fully guided self-serve. So if you as a business owner or a marketer in a business has the time to be doing this themselves, we will guide them step by step on exactly what to do to replicate the same playbook we do in enterprise.
So really core there is being able to come in, work with either enterprise, provide them these services to really get them in front of the right eyes because of where technology is. SEO is down, organic is down, and providing them that outlook for them to pop up when people are searching on AI platforms like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, so on and so forth. And then also providing that fully guided self-service where smaller business can come in, utilize the same strategies you guys are doing for the big enterprise, but obviously at a lower cost so they can go through on their own.
That's correct. And I think the game now is not optimizing for keywords, it's becoming the topical authority on whatever it is that a business needs to be the topical authority on to bring highly profitable traffic to them. So it's oftentimes an education of the client first before we implement anything to do with the playbook about they now need to decide on their topics they're an expert on. They need to develop credibility around those topics, and then it's part of our job through the content and some restructuring to really help them communicate and transmit that expertise in a topic to Google, to ChatGPT, to Perplexity, etc.
So, with that, I would love to hear your take on this, Dax, especially with how AI is being accepted across the board. I would love to hear what's your experience been this far since you've launched in 2023 to now with scaling Fomo.ai, especially with how bigger enterprises or companies are a little weary of getting into the AI wave. What's that experience been like for you?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. We named the company Fomo.ai,
Right.
of course, fear of missing out, because
Yes.
the overarching emotion CEOs, executive teams, marketers are feeling is they're missing out on something. And part of that is the sort of nonsense hype wave that washes over LinkedIn hour by hour, right? Of I'm running $100 million business with one person and 16 agents, right? And a lot of it's BS. However, there is a lot that is practical to this, and businesses do have that burning desire to be ahead or at least be somewhat reasonably caught up. So for us, our scaling has really come from recognizing that's what people want and making it as simple and as practical and as believable and as results driven as we possibly can. We will often take brands from larger agencies, right? We're not really an agency, but we will often take brands from agencies. And in large part because those agencies, they can't move quick enough and they're in denial, a lot of them, about this AI search wave. So we've got a client, they'll probably end up spending about 130,000 a month on this. We started about 3,500 a month, but they'll spend about 130,000 a month. They were probably paying their legacy agency $300,000 and will be getting with us 10x the output and therefore an increase in results, but for a third of the cost. So we love it when other companies are stalling and they don't know how to evolve their model because we're a brand new type of structured organization.
Love it. I absolutely love that. Talk to us a bit about what you guys are doing as far as the acquisition side goes. What's working best for you on that front? Would definitely love, excited to hear the shifts that you guys are making. Obviously, you're doing this for your clients. What is working best for you to bring in consistency and predictability? And what challenges are you seeing with bringing leads in right now?
I'll start with the challenge side. Every startup organization goes through the same classic startup pain points. And thankfully, I've been there and seen them before, so they're not a surprise, but they're always a challenge to overcome. So, probably one of our biggest things at the moment is whereas my co-founder really focused on product and dev, I'm really focused on the go-to-market and
Yeah.
the evangelizing of the business, etc. And of course, as a co-founder, and I'm now becoming a serious bottleneck in the organization. So that's something we're working through about how we do that. We take a very education first approach. If I had the time, I would be doing free webinars and workshops every single day that I possibly could, right? And so I'm a little bit of a bottleneck there. We love to educate, and we find that is the best way to get people to be aware of us, but also to get a sense of who we are. And are we for real or are we full of BS, right? So education works very well. Interestingly, we've cracked cold outbound email. That is extremely effective and books a lot of phone conversations with us. We are about to try for a self-serve offering, which is quite a new offering for us, guided self-serve. We're about to try the good old classic VSL, Video Sales Lander, going into booking calls. They still work. I believe in finding the best experts we can to help us on things, and I think we've found some really solid people who'll help us build that infrastructure. So I'm going to be very intrigued how that goes. And then we have some other sort of there's some virality to some of our services and products that means other brands are regularly exposed to us, and that also works very well from a go-to-market point of view.
Interesting. Very interesting. Can I ask what led you guys deciding, hey, we want to try the VSL route, go down that route? What was it that kind of sparked that light bulb for you?
You know, it, they've been around for such a long period of time that they are just one of those classic marketing channels that I think most businesses at some point it's probably worth them trying.
Absolutely.
I think the other reason is because of that education first approach, right? We will go out of our way on sales calls, for instance, to really answer everybody's questions and give them the advice and the help. And then it's up to them if they choose whether to pay for our service or our self-serve. So a VSL is natural from that point of view. I think what I've been learning over the last few weeks as we get ready to launch that is micro VSLs are better. So 1 to 8 or 9 minutes seems to be the sort of best advice I'm getting right now. Don't gate them. People are sick of having to put their email address in just to see something. So it will probably be an ungated 6, 7, 8 minute video with then an option for them to schedule a sales call.
And this is something that you're actively building out right now, looking
That's
through
right.
how the most effective. Got it. So, as far as that, I know you said that you are more of a bottleneck right now within the business, Dax. And are you running all the sales as well? Do you have a small sales team and marketing team, or is this something that is still really small shop?
So it's an interesting question. We're about 30 people. And so our revenue and our customers through results really has been accelerating quickly. We work with a large health company and they've probably spent about $150,000 with us over the last 18 months, but they've generated over $9 million worth of revenue directly attributable to our work.
Wow.
And so that helps, right? Because our clients are our best evangelists. We also put together an amazing advisory board that includes this woman who used to run marketing for Williams Sonoma Group. So it gives us a lot of credibility and reputation. So that's very effective. We've just been taking on some salespeople to do very specific things, so focused on certain industries or certain types of businesses. One of those has been laser focused on selling to agencies. And interestingly, I think a real scaling point for us is white labeling what we do for those agencies we talked about earlier on in this conversation that can't get out of their own way. For those agencies, we're an immediate plug-in solution that means they don't need to go hire a bunch of new people to learn AI search. They don't need to retrain the whole rest of their staff. Plug us in and they're offering the same solutions that we are from day one.
Incredible. That is incredible on that side. And I mean, being able to white label it and then push that to their clients is just going to continue that growth. So amazing on that front there. So, what can you point to right now, Dax, with this growth that you're having to the bottleneck side of things? What bottlenecks are you thinking through, whether it be more predictability on the lead gen side, the sales side, the marketing side? What can you think about right now that you're looking to break through for that continued success?
So it evolves
Mm.
month by month, quarter by quarter, of course. If we were having this conversation 90 days ago, I would have told you that the content that our non-human marketing team, the technology that sits in the core of what Fomo.ai does, a non-human marketing team that autonomously writes content, I would have told you that for our brands, we always give humans time to check the content before it goes to the client. So we're not just another SaaS churning out crappy content. We need it to be on brand. We produce medically accurate content, legally accurate content, financially accurate content. So I would have said 90 days ago, 120 days ago, our bottleneck was, can we find and use enough editors to be reviewing human content? Because every piece of content needed an hour
Yeah.
with a human to make it absolutely perfect. We did a sprint over the last 90 days to really determine, is it possible with where LLMs, the underlying AI models are today, to truly generate human quality content without humans? And so today that's not a bottleneck because we solve that.
Mm.
And I challenge anybody to find more human content, more human-like content than FOMO.ai can generate today. So now our bottleneck is a classic one. It is me as a co-founder being a bottleneck. It is my co-founder who runs product and dev being a bottleneck, right? He needs to bring in that next layer on the development side. And then probably I think we just launched this sort of lower tier of $3,500 a month, fully done for you, really appeals to a lot of those smaller businesses or businesses that are really tight on budget. And I know we're proactively trying to solve the bottleneck really before it happens of getting an army of people who can staff those accounts. because it's not about delivering the work there that's the problem. It's making sure that small business owner has direct access to a human being that can answer their questions, make them feel comfortable, have a chance to express their voice and opinion as to what's happening with the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just incredible across the board there. So, with that being said, paint us the picture. What does the rest of this year look like? Clear as day that you guys are continuously innovating and implementing and improving upon Fomo.ai. What are you laser focused on for the rest of this year to continue that scale and growth?
Most of our clients are on subscription,
Yep.
whether it's month to month or for a year, just depending on sort of payment terms and things. And so I already know if we win no more business between now and the end of the year, my Q4 is 3 times as big as my Q2. So I already know that, right? And I already know that my Q1 is bigger than my Q4. A lot of our revenue today comes from the managed services side. So us doing the work for people, the done for you service. So really the next 90 days or the last H2 of 2025 is really going to be around also scaling up that guided self-serve program. And I think that is where, when I think about possible acquisition exits for us in the future, we're going to get a much higher multiple on revenue, of course, if we have a lot of people who are self-serving our platform, even if it also has our guiding or not, versus the managed services revenue. And so that's the big effort for the rest of this year.
Incredible. On that front there, I have one more question for you, Dax, and then want to go into the lightning round. And with that, I would love to hear from you on what with the AI marketing industry as a whole and its evolution in the coming years. Obviously, things are changing so fast. You have a very practical hybrid AI human approach. What are you doing to really keep yourself at the forefront of that evolution that you're picturing?
It's such an interesting question because it is changing so quickly. I do think that I've been down the VC funding path successfully before. Didn't want to do that in this case for a number of reasons. I think this is just changing too quickly. VCs often don't necessarily like that. So we just did very small amounts of funding based on from individuals. Um, the problem I think a lot of those VC-backed technology companies has if VCs do not like people having services. They want a SaaS company just to be SaaS. And I think actually for the next couple of years, people want the humans as well. A lot of companies do, whether it's just through guiding or whether it's doing the work. So that's a sort of key area in which we will continue to be different. And we have some of the most experienced people in the world. So I think that's one area. I think secondarily, we're laser because we're our best first customer of our technology. We're laser focused on the things that make a significant difference to the ultimate users of our output, such as the sprint to develop human quality content using AI. And then I suppose the sort of third answer to this is it really depends on the time frame we're talking about. It's funny, I spend a lot of time thinking about the future of AI. So I have a publication, 84futures.com, where I like write about the future of AI as though it's our history from 2035. So it's a little
Yeah.
sort of sci-fi. And if I roll the clock forward 10 years from now, and we
Hmm.
were having this conversation, first of all, it would probably be two virtual avatars, and neither of them
Yes.
would know.
Yeah.
But also, secondarily, I don't think there is any SaaS in 10 years. I
Oh,
think the underlying OpenAI and Anthropics of the world have made all SaaS obsolete. And so, is that really 10 years from now? Is it seven? Is it three? It's hard to tell and really put a timer on that. And so, I believe 18 months from now, our business will just look like an evolved version of this. I believe 3.5 years from now, no SaaS company looks like it does today.
interesting. So interesting. With that, I would love to go into the lightning round here with you, Dax. And I have two more questions before we wrap up. And the first is going to be around a tool or a resource that you're using, whether it's an AI insight, a marketing strategy, an AI tool. What can you say has been the biggest game changer for FOMO.ai this far?
It's probably surprising just because it's so simple. We're a fully remote company, and we have been since day one. And we use that to our advantage. We have 29 people, I think, over 8 time zones. Slack and a screen recording tool like Loom, Camtasia is another common one people use. I wake up in the morning as the CEO, and I sometimes have three or four 30-second, 2 minute Loom recordings from people on the team all around the world who need to show me something that want an answer for it. I can record a quick one back and done. So I think those two are actually really critical to our infrastructure.
Absolutely. And we utilize them heavily internally here at Closers as well. So can absolutely agree with that. And then last but not least here, Dax, what is the best piece of advice that you can leave for our listeners tuning in? Just heard your incredible journey, everything you're doing with FOMO, and how important it is to be heavily involved in the AI race right now. What advice can you leave for them before we wrap up?
Just use it more.
Yeah.
Find ways where trying it in AI is your default answer to solving a problem. Whether it is what supplements do you think you need to take, or developing a recipe or a workout routine for the week or the month, or helping to plan a trip, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. This is like being right at the beginning of the web, right? And we've got some companies who are saying, oh, we're blocking ChatGPT from everybody,
Right.
just like people used to say, we're blocking every website apart from our own, right? And we look back on that now and we think that's so weird that we did that for so many years. So companies need to be getting people just using it and comfortable. Individuals just use it as your default solution because OpenAI last week dropped these agents that are really cool. Amazon
Mhm.
is going down shopping agents. There is the speed of this is 50x the development of the internet sophistication. And if you're not getting comfortable now, the next set of stuff that's coming is going to seem almost an impossible hill to climb over. So just get comfortable.
Could not agree more. With that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders, Future, and Dax. Truly cannot thank you enough for coming on the show, sharing your incredible journey and your insights, just the passion, the drive, the intelligence. It's clear as day how important it is to have founders like yourself at the helm of companies like FOMO. So truly an honor and a pleasure to have this conversation with you today, Dax. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And also check out Fomo.ai at Fomo.ai for their resources like the State of AI Search Report. And follow Dax on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/Dax Hamman. And for more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closersio, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.